as a way to say thank you to everyone that has subscribed to my YouTube channel. The September 2018 password to the trading room is 9018. 9018. See you in the room. Let's see, what's today's date? It is September 23rd, Tuesday, September 23rd, 2018. I want to thank everybody for being here. I know that you've got 1,000 different places you could be, and maybe even rather be on a Sunday afternoon, or Sunday evening, I suppose. And we'll try to keep this short, maybe to an hour, and take a look at some charts. I've got about 20 charts myself, if you want to take a look at them for a watch list for this week and maybe the following week. And I want to talk a little bit tonight about how I'm going to take the next level for my own personal trading. Might be helpful for some folks. And you're going to find that it's quite simple. I started to sit down tonight to make some notes on that, and it was remarkably simple. Let's see here. I'm going to put a link well, so much for that. Oh, there it is. For those that do not ever go to the website and check out the trading results of my Road to Wealth account, that's it right there. It is only updated monthly, and since we're, I guess 3 weeks, maybe almost a little over 3 weeks, or coming up 3 weeks into the month, it's not updated because it's only updated with the current brokerage statement. But I can tell you, as of close Friday, it's up over 300 and about 15%. So not too shabby, doing pretty good. So what am I going to do to take that next level? Well, guys, I think, guys, we're the world's worst. Okay, ladies, this is a total compliment to you. Guys like to fix things even when they're working. And go ahead, ladies, anyone here? How many of you know a guy that's tried to fix something that was working just fine and it didn't work so good after they fixed it? Well, I think trading can be that way. And when something is working, don't fix it. Don't fix it. Just keep doing what you're doing. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm simply going to look for trades, like take this chart right here. I'm going to look for trades that are in a trend. I'm going to look for trades that pull back to a solid pullback area. I don't mean solid like way down deep. Usually my pullback areas are pretty shallow. I could say above that 38% retracement probably. And I love them when they're in that 23% area. And then from there, I'm just going to take some base hits and just collect the monies from that. You know, you hear people that make, they might post out, man, I just made $10,000. See, it's not that they've maybe been into that trade for 6 months. It's not that they've been in that trade for, it could be even a week. It's the amount of money they invest in that trade. It means that they have that kind of money. Well, if you don't have that kind of money, or maybe you simply don't want to invest that kind of money, that's perfectly understandable. You know, you might make, let's just say $500. You know, that might be a base hit for you right there. And, you know, if we look for those good percentage trades, but, you know, you can have a 100, say in a option maybe. You could have a 100% trade, but you know, dollar-wise, it might only be a $500 winner. That's it. You know, in a stock trade, you could, you know, stock trades, I just don't know too many people that actually make enough 100% winners that actually, you know, 100% gainers that actually, you just don't hear about that too often. And, but you can make $500. It just depends on the amount of shares you buy. So, you know, keep keep it with a grain of salt. Take it in, take a drink of water when you hear people post things, and try to look at the chart and see what they're doing, and you'll find that most everybody, most successful traders that I know of, they don't sit back there wait for the home runs. They take those base hits. Some base hits are worth 10 grand. Some base hits are worth $500. Some base hits are worth $100, and that's all right. I mean, if your trading account or your trading level maybe says, hey, I only want to invest this much money, a little bit, and if the top possible return, the realistic top possible return is say $100, that's okay. The person that made the 10 grand, percentage wise, the trade wise, could be exactly the same. It's just that maybe they put more money in it, and that's why it's more money. So, just don't lose sight of that. Don't get down. Sometimes people get down, and man, how do they do that? I'll never make those kind of returns. Make sure you see the whole picture. How did they get there? Just don't look at the number, but see the whole picture. How'd they get, make sure you know how they got there. Sometimes you have to ask them. Don't be bashful. That's one of the things about most people here in our trading family is we're pretty honest and pretty. I mean, I think if you ask somebody, I think they'll tell you. So yeah, don't even be on it, or don't even be bashful there. All right, couple things I want to point out, and then we're going to get to looking at some charts, okay? And you don't have to hear me preach anymore. One thing I want to point out, and I'm going to put another link up here. If you don't, if you're not subscribed to my channel on my YouTube, there it is right there. Ed and Steve are here. If you guys want to post yours out there, you're more than welcome to do the same. I also want to post another link right here. And if we have time tonight, I'll talk about it. If somebody reminds me, I'm likely to forget about it. You'll be the first people that sees this link. You'll be the very first. Not even scheduled to be out today. But what it is what is it? October 17th. I'm going to be doing a rounded bottom breakout workshop that I think you'd be very happy with. That link will take you to a landing page, and you'll see all the particulars about it if you're interested. Please don't go there now. Just save that, put it to the side, and there's plenty of time. But yeah, anyway, good price, first 50 people. All right, so let's talk about the market here. Sunday night, we've kind of batted back and forth what we're doing Sunday night. When I say we, I'm talking about myself, Ed, Steve, and Doug with Right Way Options. And we've kind of gone back and forth what we're doing with Sunday nights. And we've decided what we're going to do is kind of take turns. And we'll just, sort of give our own views. We're our own separate traders, so we'll give our own views of the market. We'll certainly, most definitely try to put some stock trades out there looking ahead for the week ahead, possibly even 2 or 3 weeks ahead. I'm trying to scan through the chat right now, and I want to answer something. I think I saw, I believe, Steve Miller. What's the difference between hit and run and right way options? Oh, right way options, I would say they're number one top focus. It doesn't mean it's the only focus by any stretch of the imagination, is options. But they still also trade charts. They still look at charts. When it comes to actual charting, I think we're all kind of close. Right way options just is a little more, gets out there with some pretty heavy duty option trades. I trade options in the hit and run candlestick room, strictly directional. I don't get fancy. I think most of you know, I've said it, I've been trading almost 31 years now. And my first option I ever traded was actually back in December last year. And since then, I've been trading, the majority of my trades have been options, not all of them, but majority. And that's how I was able to get the that road to wealth account up 300+%. You can't do that with trading stocks. You can't have that kind of increase with just trading stocks. You can't do it. And all I trade is directional. So if you want something more than that, by all means, and please do, Doug is the options guy. In fact, he was my personal coach. Um, I have a bat phone connected to Doug, and so I called him on the bat phone, and I said, "Okay, will you help me do this?" And he said yes, and he got me started and pointed me in the right direction and answered tons and tons of questions, and and all I've all I've done is directional. I don't get fancy or anything like that. What does it count up to now? Didn't it start? It started with $5,101. Z. I think it's sitting at 22,000 right now. As of January 1, 22,000. Like, I don't know, 21.8 maybe, something like that at the close Friday. I don't have my Trade Hawk account up right now, so yeah. Well, no, I can't shut up. Give me about 45 minutes, and I promise you I will. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about some trades here. Let's talk about the market real quick. I want to point out a couple of things. I'm going to go to this chart right over here. This is my volatility stop chart. And notice that the SPY is above the volatility dots. That's always something that I look at. So going forward, I look at the SPY. So what's the SPY going to do? Well, you know what? I can't predict what the SPY is going to do. I can predict maybe within a couple of days, things like that. Most traders that study price action and candlesticks can do that. That's not a real big trick. But and that works perfectly with swing trading. But to say, well, where's the market going to be this time next month? I couldn't even begin to tell you where it's going to be this time next month. I couldn't even begin to tell you that. But one of the things I do when I look at a chart is I go through and I look where we are with that volatility stop, and you can see price is above the green. So that means I'm going to be kind of bullish. Now I'm going to look at the trend, and you can clearly see the trend is up. So wouldn't you say that I'm bullish on the SPY? Of course, yeah, I would say that. But we need to get the right tools up here. Just a second here. There we go. We also need to respect the fact that we're coming up to this top end of this channel line, and it seems like every time we do, it just wants to pull back a little bit. And the pullback is simply a profit-taking pullback. Nothing about any one of these pullbacks would have broke anybody's account if you had the proper trade allocations on. No way it would have broke anyone's account. So I look at this and say, you know what? Yeah, we're coming up here. But as long as we stay above that level right there, I'm going to be okay. This starts to turn red, and the red dot gets on top like it is, like right here. Then what I'm going to do is be a little concerned, and I'm going to be a little bit more, okay, are we going to start rolling over, and we'll start watching maybe some short charts. Let's take a look at the diamonds real quick, and you can see that we're above that, and I'm still bullish. Now, with that said, Friday I took some diamond puts. I also added to my VXX long, which means that I'm not necessarily bullish now, not necessarily bullish, but keep in mind that all I'm looking for is a little pullback. That's it. I don't need to have some monster pullback here to make money. If the diamonds are up so high and they start to pull back, and I certainly can't guarantee they're going to pull back Monday, they might go higher. And if they go higher, I might get stopped out. Maybe I add a little bit more to them. Who knows? I can't predict how tomorrow is going to actually follow through. You know, based on what I see right now, I would have to say that we're going to open up a little bit lower. But for me, it's 7:15 at night where I am. It's 8:15 on the East Coast, and that's a whole lot of moonlight before sunup. So a lot of things can happen. A lot of things can happen. So I'm still quite bullish, but I'm taking advantage of maybe a little bit of a price pullback. That's what I would call is a base hit. Base hit, okay? Qs. Qs are still bullish. We're above that line right there, above those volatility stops. We do have a bearish engulf. So what does that tell us? It tells us we're probably going to see a lower low. There's a high probability of a lower low. Now, if we look at a downtrend line here, you know, we get through that downtrend line and we get down into this area. I know some people look at that as, yay, a double bottom, you know. That's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Well, based on the whole chart pattern, whoops, honestly, I'm not feeling the love on it. I'm probably more, yikes. I'm probably more looking at that. I don't look at that as like, you know, yay, a double bottom and all that stuff. Ooh, support, yay. Because double bottoms and support, they need price action to prove themselves. And let's take a look at this price action. So we started up here. We came down. The bulls took a hold of it and they moved it up. But what'd they do? They failed. They came back down. They found some support, no doubt. They came back up here and they have failed with a bearish engulf. Now, we haven't come down through that line, so there's always that little hope there. But it is a bearish engulf, and it's fairly impressive volume compared to everything else here. I say fairly because we've certainly seen more volume. So we might want to be a little bit careful that this starts to have a little follow through. Quickly take a peek at IWM. I am long some Q or IWM puts. Reason is, I think we're putting in a top right here. I was in those puts over here. They came up, and even on this candle, you know, I kept them. Here, I kept them, and now it's starting to show up as a possible good trade. So this week, I could end up with a pretty good base hit. Look at that volume down there. Again, there's a whole lot of moonlight between tomorrow morning. And then you've got all the sun out there before tomorrow's close. So a lot of things can happen, but that's just a couple that I'm looking at right now. And I wanted to share sort of my opinion of the market, which is overall bullish, but I'm taking advantage of some of the pullback. Now, overall, I'm bullish, but if we start to break down, and it wouldn't take much to start breaking down here, then I'm going to change my whole attitude, and I will be to the bearish side. So, all right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch to another chart. This is the chart we're mostly going to look at tonight. This is kind of my new little pet chart, and I think I'm in love, and we're going to talk about that a lot more. Not a great deal tonight, but a lot more down the road. Okay, let's see. Where are the traders under which service for Road to Wealth Performance? Bill, that is one of my personal accounts, and I'm Hit Run Candlesticks. So that's just one of my personal accounts, and it was just a project that I decided to do this year. Anyway, it was just a project. We can talk about that more, but it's just one of my personal accounts, okay? Let's see. John is asking, do you actually send alerts for trades that you take? In the trading room, I announce them. I don't physically send them to everybody. I am truly an honest-to-God trader, and somebody who truly honest-to-God's trades doesn't have time to do that kind of stuff. Now, I will give you a little insight of something down the road, okay? If you are a TradeHawk customer, if you use the TradeHawk platform, down the road, you could be getting alerts from me. You could get tickets just as I buy or sell. Doesn't mean you have to follow them. In fact, I don't recommend you follow them. But they're down the road. You could get my buy and sell orders. And it would just boom, 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 boom. So there's a little something coming down the road maybe for you. Then you would be able to see it all. Let's see. Yes, this is recorded when buying puts. Delta. Al, I got to tell you, I'm not the guy that's going to teach options. And the minute I think that we're headed down that road, I'll turn that TV off right now. Doug is the guy to talk to about the options. Okay. But I can tell you, I'm doing exactly what Doug taught me. Exactly. And I look for 65 to 75 in there somewhere. I mean, I have taken a 60, I have taken an 80, but as a rule of thumb, between 65 and 75 delta. TradeHawk is a trading platform. Go type in mytradehawk.com. Okay, let's look at some charts here, and then we can talk as we go if anyone has any questions, okay? I still want to run out of time tonight and not even look at a chart. So, I tell you what, let's do this. Long or short? The first person who points out long or short, that's the first one we'll start with. We're going to try to go back and forth. What is it? Long or short? 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 Long. Here we go. Okay. These are not organized in any specific way. Not one is any better than the other. I've actually got a pretty long list, but I've only flagged 14 of them. And for the short list over here, I do have some charts to look at, and I've got 9 of them flagged. So we're going to try to get through those. And at the end of tonight, don't let me forget, I will copy and post those in the chat for you so you have them if you want to put them on a watch list. I think it is hugely important to trade from a watch list. Don't trade from somebody's trade pick. Don't do that. Put the trade pick, put the trade idea, put the hot stock of the day, put it on your watch list and only trade it when it meets your criteria. Okay? That's very, very important. Just because somebody says, hey man, I'm buying this, don't run out and copy them. Don't do that. That's bad voodoo, man. Not going to be good for you. All right. HK. I'm kind of liking HK. And one of the reasons I'm liking HK is the trend. It meets my qualifications for my trend right there. It also meets my qualification if we connect right here, and then I'll just move it on all the way across. Look where we came back to for support. And this has been in a nice little uptrend. This has been in a beautiful little uptrend right here. And now it's just profit-taking pullback. Profit-taking pull. That's the way I see this. Now, I gotta admit, little toppy dance going on right there. But we've pulled back to some pretty good support. We have a little kind of a spinning top candle. I'm gonna get rid of all that now. We have a little spinning top candle, and this is kind of my T-line band or T-line fans maybe. I'm still trying to think of what to exactly call this. Some of you in the past have seen me use the T-line bands where they up and down, up and down, up and down. Well, I use them and I use them and I use them. There was just something about them that I don't know that they were all that helpful. What I did is I created another way to look at the T-line bands, and I love it. I'm absolutely loving it because now I can use the trend, I can use a minor pullback and price action all on one. And it's like so cool. So I'm pretty happy. So here we are. We're pulled back to this red line. And the red line here is, we already pointed out that it was support. So support in that area right there. And we have a little spinning top doji here. So if I start seeing bullishness, and I'm going to use these two candles right here. They're probably the two most important, I think, here. This one is very important, but we're already above that low, so I'll hang with these. So if I start seeing price move over 465, I'm going to call out round numbers. When I drop a line, believe me, I don't pick some special price out. It's just close. When I start seeing price over that 465, what I'll do then is watch for consolidation and then watch for bullish buying in here. And then I'll look to buy. And then also, if that happens, what will happen is we'll have a low to a high to a higher low, and then we can start to buy with anticipation of that high breakout. Now, I'm guessing that that's the high. I have no clue for sure. Okay, so HK is on my watch list. Let's go look at a short now. We'll try to bounce back and forth a little bit. Tiffany's here. Tiffany's has been in a downtrend. You can see that our T-line bands are trending down. And we've got this nasty, nasty, nasty candle here on some pretty nasty volume. We've tried to rally up. We're really not getting anywhere. Now, are we or aren't we? Okay, here's the thing. So far, I think this is a pretty good looking chart from here to here, back to here, and up. Pretty decent looking. I think we've got a nice little morning star signal right here, all right? I think that's good. But I am not convinced we're going to break out. I'm not convinced with that. And if we start to see weakness and get down into these lines right in here, this is where I'm going to start looking for this short trade. To be honest with you, the perfect place to have shorted this for me would have been right here. That would have been the perfect place. And you're probably saying, well, what's so perfect? It actually went up. You know, trading is not about buying or shorting a stock at a specific price and the very next day you making money. Now, I know we all want to do that, but that is just so not real. that is just so not trading. And so when you get your mind around trading and you think, well, you're trading the trend and you're trading the swings within a trend, that's where I would think is the perfect entry here. Or even the follow through down here would have been a perfect entry. So what I'm looking for is weakness, and then I will look for that short on that one right there. A long that I'm looking at is NKTR. Now, I want to go to this weekly chart here. And the reason, and sometimes you'll see me, I'll go to a different time frame, usually up, not down, usually up. So here this has been trending down. We had a gap down that maybe this washed out a bunch of traders. We started to come back here, and the pullback, I like the doji right here. The only way I would be long is above $67. Now, I want to explain that for a minute. I can't say that anybody here feels this way or has ever thought this. I don't know. So I'm going to share something with you that I thought at one time. For a long time, years ago, when somebody said buy above $67, that blew me away because I didn't understand what they were talking about. Why would I want to buy it up here when the chart's down here? Why would I want to do that? Well, it took a long time for me to actually grasp that. And what we're doing when you see people that say that, other educators, other traders or anything, here's what they're saying. They're saying, look, this chart is trying. It's giving a reasonable try based on their outlook, but I want to see confirmation. That's what they're saying. I want to see some confirmation that the bulls can actually pull this off. We have a low, and the trading 101. If you go to a trading school, man, this should be the first thing that they teach you. This whole area right here is a low, okay? So we're going to go to a low, to a high, to a higher low. This is the first thing you should learn the very first day of trading is this is not the buy. This is just a simple hop and pop, and you're praying to God that you're going to make some money because you don't have a clue that it's actually going to go up. So what you want to do is let it run up, let it pull back, and then let it break out over that high, over this line. So you have a low, high, higher low, and now you trade up here. Funny thing about stock trading, funny thing about charts, if the bulls are going to take it up, they're going to take it up. Which means if we get up here and we come up and then we start to test, then you can start looking for that buy candle. Now feel comfortable about buying. That's what you want to do. So you've got a trend starting and the trend continuing right there. Intel is an interesting one. Intel is interesting because I'm actually watching it for a long and I'm watching it for a short. You know, I don't know which way Intel's going to go. Neither does anyone else. We can all have some guesses, and everyone that's right is going to wave their flag. Everyone that's wrong, you won't hear from them for a while until they guess a right one, and then you'll hear from them again. The truth is, you really can't. You can't predict what it's going to be. So we look at this price action here, and I'm going to change the color of that line right there, and I'm going to change it to orange. There we go. Because above that line, I will consider a long trade. We stay below that line, and I'm going to consider a short trade. Overall, we are trending up here. We do have support right here, which means actually we could fall to that support. Okay, we could fall to that support, and that's what my short would be looking for. To the long side, if we start breaking out here, now what we do is let's move this over and let's connect that high or up thereabouts. I don't usually go exact. You can see how that's there right there, and then we just allow it to go where it wants. You see if we go over that, how all of a sudden we've changed that downtrend. So like I said, Intel is sort of a I'm waiting to figure out which way to trade it. Those that have been short, notice how that thing came back right into our trend lines here, T-line band lines. We came up. See how we failed? Look how you could have been short. Sweet trade for those that have already been short on this right here. Jay, really quick, they're the T-line high, T-line low, and then linear regression using the T-line high, T-line low as the source is what this is. And I'm just using linear regression 35 days on this. The red one is the 17 EMA, and it's measured on the low. So if you're familiar with the T-line bands, you should be able to put that together. But like I say, I'm going to talk about these more. Just tonight wasn't the night to go into great detail, okay? Let's see. Let's do another long, and then I'll take a look at some of yours. Let's see. What is this? Okay. This is should be a rounded bottom breakout. There we go. Yeah. See, this is a rounded bottom breakout chart right here. A rounded bottom breakout is when we have this downtrend. We start moving sideways. We move over the 50-day simple moving average. Here's a little bit more to that than just that, but that's kind of the nutshell of it. And when there's, we're looking for 10%. Now this is an interesting. I'm going to talk about this here. I'm not saying I would take NYCB as a directional option trade. I don't know what the options are on it, so I don't really have a clue. But this is where you can make some big money. The rounded bottom breakout, just a straight stock trade, can only be worth 12%. That's it. Now, that's if it just trades up. I mean, it can go up and back up and back and up and back. And you can trade it, for 99 days maybe. And you can collect a lot more than 12%. But in a straight line, that's pretty much all you can get. Now, if you look at a directional option with this, this could be, it could be Stupid amount of percent you can make on this. Absolutely crazy. So, like I said, I don't think I would be trading this with an option, but I'm just using this as an example. RBB here as an example as that. Um, so we look at this, and if you can here, let me do this. I'm gonna walk the price out of this. Walk the price out. See that blue and green line there? There's our T-line bands right there, and you see how we're trending up now. So that's in the class, in the round of bottom breakout class, October 19th. This is one thing I'm going to be most definitely talking about. Are the T-line bands used in the round of bottom breakout? And you see how they're trending up. Okay, that's definitely a plus. Now, if you look at price, you can see how price got in there and just went from boom, boom, nailed it, nailed it, nailed it. You know, we broke out, and that's what we want. We want those breakouts. No, the price just was not ready to go. So back down we fall, find a little support. Bulls couldn't hold it, so they just dropped down. And see how they dropped down? Kind of interesting. One could almost be, oh my gosh, get bearish on this chart. But what happened was it just totally reversed back up. Totally reversed back up. Now, I'm not one for being. I'm I'm a candlestick trader. I love candlesticks, but I'm not anal about them. Okay, I'm really not. I mean, you've got to imagine 5 million shares traded. All right, 5 million shares traded. Are you serious? You really think bullish engulfs are going to be really bullish engulfs? You think island reversals are going to be real island reversals? 5.9 million shares traded. Holy Toledo. I can't even get one cat to go through a door, much less that many cats. So I look at this chart, and no, that's not a book perfect island reversal, but boy, I'm sure seeing it. I don't know if anyone else is, but I'm seeing it. There's a nice little gap in there, but the wicks, see the wicks throw it out. It just does. Now we have a doji continuation pattern setting up here. Here's another little thing, and then we'll move on. One thing we want to see in the RBBs, we want to see a good test. So something I would have to ask you is, we've moved up. We actually closed above the 50 here, which is part of the RBB. We pulled back. Was that a failure or test? Question to ponder, isn't it? And now we're back up. Well, this looks to me like it just might be a trade coming up. Morningstar on the 2-day chart. Let's see here. 2-day chart. Beautiful Morningstar on the 2-day chart. Yes, it does. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Look, we've got 20 minutes left. It's hard to get so much done in an hour and answer everybody's question. I apologize if I missed some questions. I did purposely tonight sort of skip over them. But if you ask me again, I promise you I'll answer your question, okay? So if you have a question, please type it in there again, and I'm more than happy to answer it. I just wanted to make sure I got through a few things that I wanted to point out tonight. Just a few things. And while somebody might be frantically posting, let's take a look at Facebook here for a possible short. Now, funny story on Facebook. It gaps down. My wife says, Rick, I want you to buy some Facebook long. Well, I said, I'll tell you what, I promise I will someday. But I did go short some Facebook. Now, I'm not in it now. I've sold my short, made some money, and happy with that. She keeps bugging me, buy some Facebook, buy some Facebook. I said, I will, in time. When the chart pattern says so. I promise I will. Well, we have a low, we have a high, we have a higher low, we have a Morningstar signal, we have follow through. Oh boy, let's get bullish, right? Well, we really didn't have follow through, did we? We didn't break out of that resistance line right there. We really did not. Sure, we have a bullish W pattern, or do we? We have a want to be. We never broke out. We never tested. And here's what I mean. we never really got above that line and pulled back for a test. One of the biggest mistakes that I made as a rookie trader was trying to get into these early trades thinking I was going to make some money. It took me quite a few years to realize that I could wait and buy it up here and make just as much or more money. So the point I'm trying to make here is it never really gave us a bullish signal. Those that got bullish here are kind of maybe, walking a little slow, So what I'm looking for here is yet more of a short, providing we have bull or bearish follow through. Let me check my chart. I don't think I'm not. There we go. That looks better. Let's see. Bob says, die Facebook, bye. Let me go back up here. Rickster. P-A-W-N-W. Rickster, I like that. People used to call me that too. P-A-N-W. P-A-N-W, you see this? I'm going to go over here to this chart. There we go. I love that chart, by the way. Okay. See how we've got this nice little trend right here, and you can see we clearly have broken out. We have a nice little support right here. We have a gap right in here, so I think we ought to put a line right in there. And you can see where price is. Come on, quit it. Maybe that one will stay. So we've got a nice little pullback. I love that pullback. And we're trapped, T-line bands, trapped. We're trapped between that red one and the green one, which I love that. I think that is sweet. So now what I would like to see, and nice chart, by the way, okay, very nice chart. What I would like to see here is a bullish candle to prove it can actually do something, and a breakout here of 233 and some change. So really the trade I would be looking for would be the trade up here, and I would look for that trade to go this direction. So even to 250, 260, maybe 260 would be right there. I think that would be a fair, very fair outlook on this PANW. Nice chart. I'm going to add that to my watch, which actually I think it's on my watch list, my room watch list that I keep up during the day. But that is right there what I would be looking for. Let's see, Wade, Rick, do you think what do you think the SPY from here? Well, you see, I don't know, and neither does anyone else. All we can do is follow price. So let's look at some facts, okay? Let's look at some facts. The facts are it's trending up, right? We're in a nice little channel here. A fact is we are maybe approaching the top end of that channel, like we did right here. We came awfully close here too. We are doing that. Fact. We are trending. I think I said that already. Trending up. Fact. We are making. Lows to highs to higher lows, higher highs. Right on up. We're doing just what the bulls want us, what we want the bulls to do. We're doing it just textbook. So until that trend changes, I would have to be bullish. Okay? Now, looking at Friday's close tells me, sounds like some sort of guarantee. Can't guarantee it. But I would, and I did. I put my money where my mouth is Friday, all right? So I'm thinking we go a tad lower, but that's not to say we might not push right up into that channel up there. But like I said, I did put my money where my mouth is. I've got some diamond puts here, and I am long VXX down here. So I am bullish, but I'm preparing for a little bit of a pullback, okay? I know that wasn't helpful, but I don't think it was that helpful, really. But that's all I can do there, Wade. Why don't stocks move in the direction you're going here? I'm not even going to answer that. Folks, Aaron's messing around. Aaron's a darn good trader. in fact, in fact, I would say lately, I would have to put Aaron on one of the best traders in the trading room. He has nailed some trades, so I think he's messing with us. Let's see, Rick. Okay, if you can wait till the right time on hog, she can't wait for. Oh, yeah, that's right, Terry. Let's see, PDD. Looking to buy long after seeing the looking to buy long after seeing the open after the doji, a fairly new issue, I know. Thanks for saying that. Then I won't beat you up on that one. So really, all I would care about is that picture right there. And by the way, I think that's a gorgeous, gorgeous picture. Nice breakout, doji continuation. We get a little too far up there, and now we have a little pullback, and it's starting to move up. So you're saying you're looking to buy above the doji. So, you know, I mean, I have to look at this and say, okay, that makes sense, but where's, you know, you need to have somewhere in here, you need to have that low, high, higher, low setup, which this may be it right here from this low to the high to the higher low, and it starts working up. I would be a little, you know, just make sure we get through that top. I get it if you want to buy, you know, positive trading, and I would probably anything over 265. Anything under that, I don't think I would want it. I don't want it to come back and test this low. Would not want that. So it might come up and then, you know, bounce around because it's just, I doubt it's just going to blow through that top. I don't know. I just don't think it will. But a little consolidation is just fine. It's good for the soul. And then you can make some money. So overall, I think you've got a pretty decent trade. If it could pull back, see, my trade on it would probably be more of a don't wait till it breaks out of the high. In this case, I would probably wait till it came back, and I'd like to buy it a little bit lower because you actually have the Morningstar type signal here has already confirmed. So let it breathe a little. Maybe you get a better buy, and this is your stop because of the Morningstar signal, and we have confirmed here. So different way of trading it, but I agree. Nice looking chart for a new issue, and most people know I don't chase new ones like that. Nice chart though. Oh, where are we? UNG. UNG, nice little breakout here. My little trend lines are starting to turn up pretty good. I think it's up too high though. That I do. I think it needs to settle down. It has broken out, but that, just because a chart breaks out, it doesn't mean that it can't pull back, settle down a little bit, and still be bullish. Once we get a close over a resistance line, I'm bullish. If we pull back below that line, I'm still bullish because now it's just typical, normal action of a chart pattern. Normal, typical action of a chart pattern. And here we've been up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days with a gap. We could call that a gap as well. There's a little gap, maybe, if you want to call that a gap. So it might be just tiny bit overbaked. But I would be bullish right now on the overall chart. And I wouldn't be buying it up here, but I'd be bullish on the chart. Wait for that a better buy time, I think, John. Hey, Malcolm. Thank you. I'll check my email. Thank you very much, Malcolm. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Any chance you recorded? Yes, we are. What size of position do you buy on VXX? Well, Kevin, I am long some puts, and I think I have 5 or 6 on it, maybe 7. I don't buy a lot. You'll find that I just don't buy a lot. I'm trading that account that started with $5,100. Okay. And we'll call it 21K right now. Okay. A little more than that, but just change. So when you really think about it, I don't have a lot to put into a trade. So I'm slowly working it up. I started with one contract. I now buy more, different cost. I buy a different amount. Typically, I'm looking to spend now between $1,500 and $2,000 per trade, is what I do. So I've worked it up from one little one a little bit. So that's about what I'm in there. If I can make just, $300, I'm tickled pink. I'm giddy like a little kid when I can just turn $300. I love those kind of numbers. Absolutely love them because that's what stacks up, and it stacks up relatively easy. Cisco, I'm glad you mentioned Cisco. I am currently long Cisco. Cisco, I think, is a beautiful chart, and I hope I don't jinx it there. I think Cisco is fantastic. Like I say, I'm currently long Cisco. We were long back in here, and now Cisco has moved up pretty well. Nice little pop to the upside here. At some point it's gonna come back and do a little testing, do a little a little backfill, a little profit taking, things like that. That may offer an entry for somebody that's not in it. Those that are in it, I think it's still bullish. There's nothing about this chart that suggests some big failure right now. Not at all. So I'm very bullish on Cisco. Just be careful not to chase. You don't want to chase it too high. You don't want to do that. See ZTS. ZTS, overall it's a pretty decent chart. I definitely see what you're looking at. We've certainly looked at this over the last, few weeks, I guess. But I think what we have to realize here is we just have a chart that's marching sideways. Now, price is getting tighter and tighter and tighter, no doubt about it. This is one of these times where I like to tell myself about trading. I like to say, you know what? You don't have to be in a hurry. Because if you study chart patterns, you know that when you see a breakout and then it sort of just kind of tests around a little bit, you know that is extremely bullish and you'll make money on that follow through. You don't have to be in it right here to make money. And this is what I'm literally talking to myself right now on this chart. I'm actually telling myself, Rick, don't get excited. Don't get out there and get rushed into this thing. You don't have to buy it right here to make money. You really, really don't. So for myself, let it break out. Let it consolidate, a nice little consolidation set up right in here. Then we'll look at that. And we might even look at it in this area too, depending on the candle action. So bottom line, I think this chart needs to be on a watch list. Bottom line, I think this is a nice chart. Yesterday's candle with yesterday's volume might be indicating that we do see a little bit, another pop to the downside, because it could get tighter and tighter yet. So this is why we like to wait for those breakouts. Let those chart patterns break out, because once they break out, then they become those good trades. But overall, I would definitely put this on my list there, David. Can I look at SHOP? I sure can. SHOP. Oh, let's see. I'm actually going to go to a weekly chart on SHOP. So I don't know if you're looking at this long or short. Weekly chart, I see a nice little bottom forming here. We have a little top here that I think we need to be concerned with. I think we have a little top that we need to be concerned with right here, okay? We've come up. This is a good place for price right now. It's a very good place. I think the bulls have got a little bit of they're comfortable right now. But if they can't get through this 175, this thing could be a little bit nasty and move to the downside. And if we start, well, I would have to say about right there. If we start getting through that 153 area, that might be a nice short, a very nice short. Again, I don't know whether you're looking at this long or short, if you're in it or anything, but that's sort of what I see here. Bulls need to get it above 175 in a quarter or so, big time. The sellers are going to try to drive us back down and under that 153.80 area. The sellers are going to have their way a little bit, I think, on this one, if they can manage to get it down there. If no pullback, you would just let it go. Steve, without a ticker symbol there, I can't even begin to remember which stock we're talking about. Can't even begin. I'm getting old these days. So throw that out there and then I'll look. Whoops, there's more chat down here too. TLRY, I love that chart. You know why I love that chart? That's Facebook's rascal. Every Facebooker in the world is chasing TRLY. 99% of the Facebookers that are chasing TLRY, they made money a week ago, and they're jumping off the tall buildings now because they've got no sense whatsoever. So my thoughts on TLRY is, number one, don't trade it. Number one. That's don't trade it. Look, I'm dead serious about that. And this is one of these charts that everybody is talking about right now. And why in the world would you want to trade a chart with such drama? Why in the world? Now, I'm not even going to try to pronounce your name there, okay? So I'll just call you GP. Let's just do that. Please take this with a total grain of salt, okay? And I don't know you from Adam. I have no clue. But this is the type of chart that I think great traders should trade. If you fall less than great, I would not trade it. I would not trade it at all unless you're a great trader. Because this is the kind of chart that it can give you money like you would not believe. But it will take it and pull the skin off your body the very next day. And again, I see all these wannabe traders on Facebook. At night, ask my wife. In fact, I went and bought a new Surface Pro, and I'm sitting there hooking it up. She's saying, "What's the first thing you're doing?" I'm putting Facebook on so I can see what all those wannabe traders are doing with TLRY, and it is hilarious to read some of the posts on stocks like this. Just hilarious, and this is a chart for great traders. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm done with my preaching. I'm done with it. Right now, it is trending to the downside, and I wouldn't touch it long without a change in a game plan here. As far as short goes, let's draw a line just underneath it like that right there. And, well, I'm going to actually go right to there. I'm going to go right to that point of that blue line. I wouldn't trade it short unless it got below that line. And then what I would look for is something like this. So a breakdown, a back up and test and fail. And then I would look at that short. If I was going to trade long, it would have to be above that line. And from this pullback, I would have to see a pop, a test, and a pop that goes over wherever that high is. Then I would consider that as a trade right there. So please, I hope that made sense. VXX, yes, I'm long some calls on this. And I'm looking for price to get up into this area right here. That would be my, I would dance in the street if that happened. Absolutely dance in the street. Malcolm picked up some, cool. Very cool. Yes, I do, Michael. I use the 8 a lot. I just, you know, in fact, these lines right here, the red and the green and red is all based off the T line. And I absolutely use that, you know, the T line chart and the T line. Here's the T line chart right here. And there's the T line. Remember that in your trading toolbox, there should be multiple tools. You want a screwdriver, a wrench, hammer, you know, socket set. You want the stuff to change the oil in your car, things like that. You want to make sure that you can put a new blade on your lawnmower, tighten the garage up, you know, stuff like that, garage doors. So the T-line, I love the T-line. And like I said, these are the T-line bands, and they're all based off that T-line. So I definitely still use it. It is a big part of what I do. ABBV. AB, just get rid of all that. There we go. Right now, ABBV is still trending down. I couldn't hardly be long on this until it actually traded that down, you know, oh, come on, really? Traded above that line right there. So it would have to get on top of that green line and then come back and test it a little bit. Would look something like this right here. So we'd have to see it come back and give a little test. Then I would look at that as a long. As far as a short goes, boy, I don't, you know, the only way I would short this is if it really started to fail. Let's look at the weekly chart. See, this would have to get through this area here to fail it. Now with that said, is it CI or CL? With that said, you know, anything can be traded. If you have a reason on the direction that this might go, which I got to be honest, looking at the weekly chart, I'm probably leaning a little bit to the short side more than I am the bull side, just looking at this weekly chart. So with that in mind, you know, there's no harm in shorting it in here. Just make sure you have your stop in there. If we go to the volatility stop, you can see where the volatility stop is. So what I would do is put a line right here, and I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of this so my chart stays cleaner. So all I need to do is stay above or below 94.50, and I could be short this chart. Now, knowing me in the way I would trade, I wouldn't keep it that tight. I would probably move my line up here. That's just the way I would trade. So it would have, you know, if I shorted it, I would live with anything up here, knowing that above 896 and a quarter, because I'm gonna do a little matchmaking of the volatility dots and price action. So little matchmaking in there, and I think that would be the best place for me. And like I said, overall, looking at that weekly chart, I would have to be more to the short side at the moment. If somebody's out there, could you draw me a line underneath there, please? Appreciate it. Yes, this is being recorded. Thank you, Nini. Thank you. Yeah, you know, Aaron, I'm actually long Bank of America. You know, last week I bought some Bank of America long. And, you know, part of the reason was simply because it, you know, the volatility dots turned on me here. And that's why I did that. And if you look at my T-line bands here, you can see how we've rallied up above and now we've pulled back, and we're actually still holding that upper band. So I think for the most part, you know, I'm going to still go with the bullish side on this. We're just, you know, we're hanging on to that little support line right there. If I come in here and let's see where the volatility stops are. See where we are on the volatility stop. We're hugging them. So, for that reason, that's why I got long, because of the the pop up here. Great little morning star signal, great follow through, and great consolidation so far. But you are right. I mean, if this thing starts to fail, and we get, below, here we go here, say below 29, I'm gonna quickly change directions and follow you. Harry Johnson, I'm not sure what that means. I'm the 1%. I'm not sure what that means. Let's see, TS, GILD. GILD, let me get rid of this. Make me dizzy if I look at that too long. There we are. GILD, again, I don't know if you're looking at this short or long, but, I think what we would have to do is, what is the chart telling us? And I'm not sure it's telling us anything fantastic yet. Not yet, anyway. I'm going to try to find something in it. Weekly chart. Oh, it is weekly chart. There we go. There's a daily chart. Yeah, okay. I like the daily chart a little bit better than the weekly. We've broken out. All right. All right. I can do that. So here's what we have. Again, the first day of trading class, if I had somebody off the street, if I could bring them in, one of the first things I would teach them about trading is this low, high, higher, low thing. So here's where the bulls got a hold of this. They've made a high. They need to test. They broke out of this trend line right there. They need to test it. And then you can get early here, but that high, and we'll assume that this is the high. I mean, we could pop up another day. We'll just assume that's the high. The actual, what I would call tradable bottom, is above that line right there. But as traders, I could see us being long in this area right here. No, Malcolm. Let's see, Kimberly, wouldn't you be short? Not unless we have follow through. Isn't the trend still up? What do all trends do? All trends. No stutter, no no, well, maybe. Nope. All, a definite 100% guaranteed, all bullish trends. If you look at a chart and you see a chart that is trended up, and you look at the chart and you say, you know what? Man, I wish I would have bought that chart at the bottom left-hand corner of your current chart, and you wish you would sell it up here or still own it up here. Well, along the way, like I said, this is like, I'm not supposed to guarantee anything. My attorney says I can't do that. I can guarantee this. You are going to have pullbacks. You are going to have pullbacks. What is the trend doing from here to where it is now? And if you don't like where that trend started, then here, let's do it official. Here's the high, and right there's the breakout. So see how here's the high, we come back, we just kind of bounce around, we break out, and look how we test right here. We break out and test, and that's where the trend starts. And right now, the trend is still up. It is still up. Now, if you want to get all kind of, if you're one of those people that you draw lines right on the exact tippy bottoms, tippy highs, and, perfect, you could say, well, it's broken down right there. I tend not to do that. Let's look at that chart right there. No, not that chart. What is this chart? Right. Well, let's look at that. Look at the trend. It's still up. This, by the way, is the 3 EMA. This is the 8 EMA. And the blue line is actually the 34 EMA. We're still trending. Just a little pullback. Just a little bit of a pullback. So until we break trend, or until we maybe have we're down. Remember, let's go back to that first day of trading. Down, we need to see a test and then fall through wherever that low is, if this is going to be the low. And right in here, this could be some support area, right in this area right here. Could be. So I would want to be short only if the trend goes short. Right now, I think we're just in profit-taking mode at the moment. Okay, let's see. Andrew, Huyya. It still looks short. Yep, still looks to the downside. I'd probably look at 23.45 as a come back and test. I don't know if you're going to make a lot of money right there, but it still looks, to me, nothing here looks long. That's for sure. I'm going to skip over all the TLRY stuff now. Let's see, ACB. What is that? ACB. ACB. That doesn't work out in D. Derek, the T line is the 8 exponential moving average. Let's go to the SPY. And this dotted black line, that's the T line right there. It's the 8 exponential moving average. 8 exponential. Let's see, we'll do the first one there, cores, stalking cores. Yeah, cores would have to definitely do a little breakout here. Yeah, definitely have to do a little breakout. Just for fun, let's go see what Kohl's is doing. Hey, not so good there, is it? What is it? JWN, Nordstrom's, not so good. Macy's, maybe a little better, but still trending down. Lulu, kind of in a world of their own. Lulu's sort of specialty. That would be my favorite, just from the ones I just looked at, if you're going to go somewhere that direction. Well, thank you, Chris. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. Let's see, TSN. TSN, I certainly wouldn't be long that. That's for sure. And from a short point of view, that definitely looks short. In fact, it looks like a bearish H pattern down, and see how it's come up and failed. If you can, I'll go to a different chart and you'll see what I'm looking at here. But see that blue line right there? That kind of sticks out. See how it just failed right in that area? Let me go to a different chart. Here's the T-line band, and look at that. It comes right up. Wait a minute. Was I on a? Oh, I'm on a weekly chart there. So let me go to right here, and there's a weekly chart. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty how that does that? We start moving down, and then see how it just fails in this area. Boom, boom, and here it is. Boom. So yes, I would have to say this is still a short chart, and well, still short. I'm gonna go to a longer term. Here's a monthly chart, and let's put a line right there. Now let's go back to weekly. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna have to put that on my. Thank you for that one there. I'm gonna have to. Whoops, that pin doesn't write. TSN. Nice short chart here. Nice trend to the downside. We gap down. The bulls try to get back up. We actually have a little evening star, little failure here, wick at the top. And as long as it stays in that trend, I would stay short. Nice chart. AAL. Would you be long? I would be. Yeah. We've broken out, and I would be long. Yes, I would. weekly. Let me look at the daily. Quit. Yeah, I would be long on the daily chart, Gwen. I wouldn't be buying it up here. I would wait for a pullback. So here are two terms. They don't mean the same thing. Um, if 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 I was to say, and I think this is true with most everyone actually, I'm bullish. I would be bullish on AAL. That doesn't mean it's a buy. That doesn't mean it's a buy. You know, this is where a trader, and Gwen, this is in general, okay, Gwen. This is where a trader has to take responsibility. It really, really is. Um, don't rely on someone to tell you that it's a buy. You decide if it's a buy. I think this is a bullish chart. I think it's a great looking chart, but I don't think it's a buy right now. I think it's a buy if it pulls back and we get a better buy. Remember, I'm a swing trader. Now, I'm assuming everyone else is here. So I'm looking for what? Swings overnight to 15, 20 days maybe? Okay. 3 days if you want, 5 days if you want, 10 days if you want. So it's important that we get reasonably good entries. Now this thing has been up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we'll call it 6 days. I'm not sure that that would be a reasonable entry. Great bullish chart. Maybe not a reasonable entry. So you want to wait for a little pullback here. Let's see. I think I looked at United. Yeah, United. United is on one of the on the list here that I was going to talk about tonight. We just never got to it. United is one. I like United too. And look how United is trending up. And look how that thing just gets into those lines there. And look where we are now with a little hammer in there. So you may be on to something there, Gwen, with AAL and with the airlines, some of the airlines. So you may be on to something. Just watch for a better buy. See, this is what I would call a good buy. Let's see. Cone. You know, Cone was on my list, but I kicked it off. I don't know why. I'd have to go back and look. Or maybe this is not the one. Yeah, maybe this is not the one. Yeah, Cone looks good. I like that. Nice trend there. Little morning star signal. So here's that. This is a bullish chart, but it's a buy above 68.60. Okay, so a bullish chart, but a buy up here. So just remember that when you hear someone say it's bullish, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a buy right now. Phew, thanks, Ed. I was wondering if that was coming up. REGN, long. REGN would be long if we got a little love here. We're gonna have to see a little bit of love. Weekly chart. I love the weekly chart, by the way. It is on my my scanner list that you guys during the day we see in the room. It is on my scanner list. And we've got a nice pullback on the weekly chart. You look at that daily, and I just need to see a little aggressive bullishness, not much. And I think that would be a very, very, very nice chart. So, whew. Okay, I'm gonna do one more because I can see it. Okay, and Kimberly there, PFE. PFE. If you're long, I would stay long. If you're looking to get long, any kind of slight pullback, anything above 43.20, I think would be a buy. And the truth is, even a pullback further into 42.40, but that is likely to be down the road a little bit. But right now, anything above that 43.25, I would look at that as a buy. All right. Hey, I want to remind everybody, I posted the link for my YouTube up there earlier. If you are not subscribed to my channel, please consider that. Some pretty good stuff planned coming down the road. And there's the link to that. And if you're interested in the rounded bottom breakout class, here's a link to go look at a page that talks about it. You can go take a look at that, and then you'll learn a lot more about the class. Okay, everyone, please have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening. And we'll see some of you tomorrow morning in the trading room. Hope to see all of you. Take care.